So we're back. Talib Jasir, producer of the Turnaround Podcast.
Yes, sir. Stewart, Squirt, Holley, half Edentonian, half Durham, Mike.
All right. So we're back in the studio a few months later.
4 or 5 months later.
Yeah. And we're at the end of what we recorded since 2018, I believe we started.
Yep.
Yeah. So for context, I want to say that a lot of what you're hearing in the podcast, even as we come to a close of what we recorded, I think the last recording we did was maybe late 2020, early 2021. So we done grew a couple of years older.
Yep.
A few years wiser.
Yep.
Had some new experiences.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. When we were here last time, we talked about first season. First season was a coming of age story. Talked about being born in Edenton.
Yep.
Being
252.
Being raised in Durham.
Yep.
And we hadn't quite got to the second season yet. And now we're here. We're at the end of the second season.
Hopefully everybody caught up.
Yeah. So we've been at this, man, for a while.
Right.
First question is, man, how have things changed for you, just whether it's external or internal or both, since this podcast has dropped?
Definitely, I would say the support, the comments, the likes, the shares, and people letting me know face to face. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sharing your story. It inspired me, and it's overwhelming in a good way, and I'm highly appreciative of it. It warms my heart. It lets me know we're relating to people, and that's what we set out to do.
Yeah. No, it's been important. A lot of people don't get an opportunity to have a platform to share stories. And for those of us who do, that becomes responsibility to tell the truth, to speak from the heart.
Definitely.
Yeah, and make sure it comes across so that the people who are supposed to get it. Period.
Right.
You got a lot of stories in season 1. You have a lot of stories in season 2. I'd like to know a little bit about the impact it's had, like just on your circle, your boys, your fellas that know you all their life. Some of the information was new information, and for some of them, they was right there with you the whole time.
Yep.
So what's been some of the feedback from them?
You know what? When I've had those conversations with some of my closest homeboys, it was educational to them. And then we find out that we share some things in common.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I learned that from them, from what happened in their lifetime, it's like, I never knew, bruh. But you see what I'm saying? But we've been so close for so long. Yeah. It was always a reason why we connected anyway. And as close as we are, we still didn't know things about bruh. Because that's how we look at each other. And we might have funny moments, disagreeable moments, but that's what close friends do. And they know who they are. I ain't got to necessarily put no names out there, but they know who they are. We've been rocking since middle school, tuning. They know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riverside, the Pirates. It's some feedback I've gotten from what few close friends that's been following the podcast. It's been educational to them. And damn, bro, that's real. That's what they say to me. Yeah. Damn, bro, that's real. But they know, like I said, firsthand, because they was there.
Yeah.
So they was there. So they know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's crazy that speaks volumes that people rock out for years, decades, and some of the things that keep them up at night, they ain't spoke out loud.
Yeah.
And this is that liberation. Sometimes we don't know how people's liberation is attached to ours. It's completely connected. You got to get liberated first, and then you liberate everybody else around you. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We don't even realize it until we do. Yeah. So it's been real important, this story, your story. It's not this story, it's your story. It's been important that it gets out to the world because people that you know and people that you've never met in your life have been impacted by it.
Yep.
What's been the feedback from family?
Uh, shocking, shocking to some, and educational at the same time. Prime example, a couple of my dad's sisters, and they was like, nephew, I didn't know you went through those things. And I was like, yeah. And then that conversation lead to, because I know it's things that my aunts that went through in their lifetime that I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
And that's a moment where we're bonding and we're on the phone and we're like, that's why we need to have more family gatherings and learn more about each other and get together and have a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel me? We got the food on the grill and everything else we need and what we want.
Yeah.
Just to have a good time, decompress and enjoy family. So yeah, it's been certain and particular family members, it's been educational for them and a shock.
Yeah.
Also, and then for maybe a select few, maybe a trip down memory lane because it's real.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's, and I guess what the social stigma or the social name for it is what family dilemmas, you know what I'm saying, or family secrets, state family secrets, that type of thing like that. Yeah, I understand. I get that too. Some things ain't supposed to be said or spoken. It's either in house or whatever. But I get that too. But yeah, for my family members, I got 2 younger sisters, and my baby sister, she didn't even know we had a podcast. So she might be playing catch up right now, which is cool. Now, my older sister, out of 2, she's been following, and for her, things have been shocking. And she told me straight up, bro, I learned some things about you I didn't know.
Yeah.
And me and my sister, we grew up together because, we're 3 years apart. But she's always been up in the 252. And I'm raised in Durham. She back at home in the E-Town. So as kids, we basically separated. So before cell phones and all that type of stuff. And it's things in her past she shared with me, and we bonded. It's the turnaround in a way has helped me bond even more with my family members, the ones that's been listening and following. Yeah. And then it's a lot of them they don't even know.
Yeah, it's real, man. When we keep our secrets, when we don't tell our stories, we could be dealing with similar paths and feel like we're so alone inside of it. I got an even bigger question for you, man. It sounds like people are almost relearning you in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
But how have you learned yourself inside of listening to this podcast? What have been your thoughts?
Shoot, it's a marathon. More growth, and then just to keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing forward, no matter what. Just keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? Because I think about, and I've said this before, like, I think about people living, and I think about people who's not living, and find a way to keep pushing forward just because I'm able.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you hear people say all the time, like, I ain't supposed to be here. I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? We all say that at some point in time. Those are the ones who have been through some things and those type of experiences. You know what I'm saying? Near-death experiences. So when people saying that, because that's what I mean when I'm saying that, when I tell you that I ain't supposed to be here, but at the same time,
you are.
Like it's what's said, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
We here for a reason. We're all here. We're still walking, we're still breathing. So we're here for a reason. I'm still just navigating my way through.
Yeah. It never ends. We're always in that process.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
And listening to it myself is, again, just more room for growth. You know what I'm saying? And keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Feel me? Keep pushing forward.
Yeah, but you've come a long ass way, man.
Oh yeah, we all have. We all have.
Because when you think about it, we know people, like what some of these young cats don't understand is, man, how many lifetimes you live in one. And how when you thought that thing that happened back then was rock bottom, you didn't know there was another rock bottom that you thought you couldn't go further down.
Yeah.
And you survive. And what's crazy about that is that there's plenty of people that got stuck at different stages where we continue to progress and move forward.
Yeah. We got to power our way through that thing.
Yeah.
And I said this before, it ain't easy. But you gotta be willing to endure.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to push forward. And I said this last time, I guess I always say this, but that's the thing about being an athlete too, that side of an athlete's mind, that side of our mind. You find ways through adversity just to push. Even when you know you defeated.
Yeah.
That's the time to even push even harder. But everybody got a starting point.
Yeah. No doubt. I've noticed a lot of people, myself included, that have gone through trauma. Adversity seems to be the thing that pushes us the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some.
Yeah.
For some. Because, it's like what you were just saying a while ago. Some people don't know how to respond to adversity. And that's the thing I spoke out about before. I even responded at a time in my life inappropriately to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we all
do. Yeah, and it could be detrimental.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we go into season 2. You talk about your career had just ended over in Lithuania, and you come back and you start with the Jaguars first.
Coming back from Lithuania. So coming back from Lithuania, the thing that attracted me was the WBA, the World Basketball Association. When they notified me and I got off the phone with them and I started to do my little homework. And like I said, Anthony Grundy, state standout, God bless his soul, competed in that league. Jamario Moon ended up with the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James and a few other NBA teams, Damian Wilkins. So when I seen those type of players had to compete in that league, Magic Dorsey, which was one of Rising and one player at that time, Magic Dorsey. So when I seen those caliber of players in the World Basketball Association and they expressed interest in me, I felt that was a good shot and a possibly good move to make because, okay, back in the United States, legit league, I'm looking at the exposure from it. If those guys could propel from it, then I felt like I put myself in a good position where I could propel from it. So yeah, that's the World Basketball Association. It was crazy. I want to say it was like 155, 147 players coming from wherever they was coming from, international play, all over the United States and wherever else. It was a lot of players in there. And from whatever college conference you can name, they was there. God, it was crazy. I think they selected about, I don't remember exactly, but they selected, 55 players. It might have been more. It might have been anywhere from 55 to 65 players. But however many they selected, only 7 was selected in front of me in the first round.
Okay.
Each round, they had 5 rounds, 11 picks in each round. So that's 55 players. Out of 55, they selected 7 in front of me because we basically was auditioning for the league itself, the World Basketball Association. So those teams that made up that league was drafting players. The information that I can remember, they was looking for X amount of players. But hey, I love the game. I love to play. So I felt like it was a good opportunity at that time. Yeah. And it was. It didn't work out to my favor like I had wanted it to, but it still helped me get some other jobs as far as playing wise. It's a professional exposure league and carried its own weight for that moment in time. And to be drafted out of all those players it ain't shit, but only select people get that type of opportunity. Yeah. And I was one of those select players because anybody can't do it. No, it ain't the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But it's underneath the NBA umbrella. Yeah. And professional exposure leagues like the World Basketball Association, WBA for short, it keeps guys like me actively playing for that call-up. Yeah. So it helps springboard to receive future phone calls. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the podcast definitely gets into your career with all 3 teams, the Flight, Jaguars, Bull City Legacy. Yeah. So you're repping that right now. Yeah. That was the last team that you played for in the league. Yep. The Bull City Legacy, which was in the TRBL, Tobacco Road Basketball League. Yeah, so the teams were based in North and South Carolina and Georgia and Alabama. It's a pretty strong league. Definitely had some good players, guys who could put up 30 and 40, guys coming from whatever college conference you can name. Some of them had international experience, just as myself. Some good competition. The Cary Invasion, they had a strong team. They had a good mixture. Veteran players, younger players, good coaching staff. They had a good entertainment segment that came with their package. The Raleigh Revolt, they was pretty strong. Same thing with them. And it was a team in Hillsborough. People don't know, but it was a team in Hillsborough. It was, but they was pretty strong. Orange, I forget, it was the Orange County. I forget what they was called. But they was pretty strong, too. Both of those teams were pretty strong. But those were like because we right here. Durham is, like I say, Durham is slap dead in the middle of North Carolina. Cary and all of that was on the outside. No disrespect to the other cities in North Carolina, but like I said, Durham is the heart. And when I played for the Bull City Legacy, in my mind, what got me going was I felt like you got to come through Durham. And those other teams were strong. They had team in Fayetteville. I think they had 2 teams in Fayetteville. They were strong. They were repping where they was at. There's a few teams down in that Charlotte Concord area. They was pretty strong repping where they was at. It was some really good competition. I'm sure some of those guys who never played internationally eventually probably got a call up. Depends on how they handled that situation as far as working on their body and if they got the right personnel involved. An agent. Gotta have that mouthpiece. Somebody got to be able to talk those legal intangibles if you don't know how to talk those legal intangibles.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's a business. It ain't rec league. It's not rec league. It's not rec league.
All right. Something that I know because I'm producing the story that we didn't talk about, and I want you to take a minute on that.
Right.
Is I know we've had the conversation as you continued in your career. You got older and you continue to pursue the NBA. You heard people say to you, why don't you just do this and just why don't you stop doing that because whatever reason.
Yep.
What was it for you that you finally, where we have to start, I guess, being satisfied with the journey, how we landed, how it turned out, how it all worked out? What was it for you? Was it the day that you, and maybe you never had it, but was there ever a day where you decided I had a good run? Ever? Was it just the opportunity to coach and still be in basketball the way that you are now? We'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But you had a dream. The dream was the NBA. What was it for you that you ever came to terms about the whole outcome of it all?
So I had 2 NBA D-League invites. The first one was in 2008 with the Sioux Falls Skyforce, and I believe they was owned by the Timberwolves and the Miami Heat at that time, if I ain't mistaken. Then the second came in 2013 with the Springfield Armor, which is the Celtics D-League team at that time. I think they was co-owned with somebody else. When I didn't make that roster, I knew as far as NBA goes, that window's closed. That's done. That's a done deal. It's a wrap. It's over. So at that point, I just wanted to play on any level that I would take. I love the ABA just because of the history of the ABA. From started in 65, 66, and went to about 76 before it merged with the NBA. And they brought it back in 2000. It was still under the NBA umbrella, different ABA association as far as the commissioner goes and those type of things. Still a little brother league to the NBA. And again, if you ever visit the Basketball Hall of Fame, all the players, contributor, coaches to the sport, officials to the sport, colleges to the sport of basketball, its beginning, its origin, all of that, either from the ABA or the NBA. Playing in the ABA is, at least in my mind, it's just because of the history of the sport. That was an honor to that red, white, and blue, and that's definitely it's a stronger league because it's nationwide. A lot of people don't know that about the American basketball. So it's nationwide. I forget how many. It's probably done grown because I've been in the ABA. I've been out of the ABA for a while now, so I know it's done grown. It could be probably maybe 100 teams, but. Yeah, because that wasn't no other way. It was through the D-League. Okay. If you can't make the D-League, then you definitely not going to get, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't finna be drafted. I still say I'm going to be the oldest player to get drafted into the NBA. I still can rump shake. I'm ready. And anybody out there who doubt that, you my age bracket, the only thing I can tell you is I'm ready whenever you think you are. Yeah. Because I don't have to get ready. I love the game, love the sport, whoever can take that however. But if any team was to call me right now in the ABA, TRBL, whatever league, back international, at 46, going on 47, yeah, I'm going to turn into a hurricane. Because I feel good. My body feel good. I've been doing this fish oil thing, so I feel great. And I'm not even in playing shape. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel great. So I can only imagine what 4 to 6 weeks of intensity would do for me. You know what I mean? Because again, you got to know how to combine intelligence along with the skill sets.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And all of those things are on the go. Those cylinders are hitting high.
All right. That's what's up. So, as we go through season two, we talk about some of the hardships, the residuals of trauma, of youth, of things that have occurred and you're still trying to escape from them or what have you. All of us have our own stories, our own experiences that drive us to wherever we end up and wherever we go, and the experiences that we end up having. We talked about adversity. We talked about the game. Anybody who's listened to this season knows that there was some issues with alcohol during that time.
Yep.
Brought on from many different reasons. That's something else that again we talk about. Some people get stuck there.
Yeah.
And not you. And so what's one of those things, even if it's about, you've heard the episodes, there's people who have listened and could still be in a space where there's still addiction and or recovery and or contemplation.
Yeah.
And so from you just listening to your own story about your experiences with that, where do you land right now? What are your thoughts and what would you tell the listeners who are in any stage of addiction?
I tell them hardships don't last. They don't last. They might seem like they do while we going through that particular hardship. They don't last. Just endure through it. Keep pushing through it. And yeah, you need to do in that time frame. You know what I'm saying? To get it out your system, because that's how I did it. Whatever I had to do just to get it out my system without causing harm to somebody else or yourself. Even though I possibly was causing some kind of harm to myself, the way I was hitting that bottle the way I was, and knew I was doing it. I'd take down 3/4 of a half a gallon solo at the house. Take her down and pass out done. But that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way to power your way through it. So that's all I'm saying is just don't do it that way. Find another way. You know what I'm saying? Shit, start a garden.
You talked about going into the classes for one of the legal issues that you had. You listened to the podcast if you want to learn more.
Yeah.
But you talked about this opportunity, man, to express and to talk about what's going on and not feeling like maybe there was an opportunity before that. Yeah, you had your family to talk to and
Yep.
friends, but it's something about a dedicated space.
Yeah.
For you to deal with yourself. Just talk about the importance of that when, again, you talked about your friends who and y'all living lives together and y'all don't even know the shit that y'all done came through.
Yeah.
Talk about how important it is to be able to let it out, to get it out.
Yeah, it definitely alleviates. It alleviates the soul. It alleviates the mind. That's how I felt ever since we did the turnaround and the conversations. It's the feeling. It's unexplainable, really, in a great way. I don't know any words to tell you how marvelous I feel. That's just the truth of it. It alleviates. It alleviates the mind and alleviates the spirit. For me, it did.
Yeah.
Because you find out others not only relate, but they don't walk that road. And some people don't know how to express themselves publicly or express themselves, period. You know what I'm saying? Just opening up because we all guarded and nobody want to be disregarded. Nobody want to be undermined. Nobody want to be undermined. None of those things. We all have feelings. And yeah, other people have hurt my feelings. Not that game, not that sport. So that's why I say I love it. That's why I say I love that game because it's never done no harm to me. It's only taught me my good days and my bad days out there. But my body feel good, my spirit feel good, my mind feel good. I just wanna keep progressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's only because I had that mental mindset not to allow myself to just completely just collapse and just come down. You know what I'm saying? That will. It's there. All you gotta do is just dig within yourself. Do whatever you gotta do to get it out your system. You know what I'm saying? And then just keep pushing forward because things will get better. Period.
Yeah, man. We gotta just keep choosing life, choosing freedom. Damn sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I'm always thinking like, how can I grow 1,100 times stronger?
Yeah.
That's how my mind turns. You see what I'm saying? Even if I am emotionally down, even if I am hurting on the inside, it's not gonna take me now at this point, now at this stage of things, it's not gonna take me a long time to reverse it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But that's just a gradual progression that I went through. I had to learn how to emotionally disconnect and have a short memory. And even though some things are etched and burnt permanently, but still, I found ways to just unplug and disconnect because this life is a gift and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think about like my grandma, like my mama's mama. I think about both my grandmas, but my mother's mother was the first woman to tell me that I was beautiful, and that's something that echoed through my mind. You know what I'm saying? And then my dad told me, "Son, you a special man." So when those words echo through my mind, that's what gets me up every morning, and I go.
Yeah, that's important, man. I'm sure a lot of people who listen to the podcast and was rooting for you because this was a story where we talked in the present. And
Yep.
even though it was decades old and we were talking about it
4.5 decades ago.
Yeah. But people rooting for you. People were like, did he ever make it to the NBA? They can't wait. There's people that still wondering what happened.
Yeah,
so,
I tried. I'm one of them that can say he tried.
Yeah,
I tried.
Absolutely.
All, you know what I'm saying? No trainer, no yoga instructor, no agent, no girlfriend. I heard more of, get that shit alone. Have you ever thought about life outside of basketball? You know, no. So, and that's one reason why I say I'm still ready right now to this day. You know what I'm saying? This life is a gift, and everybody gets blessed with different skill sets and essentials and gifts. And some of mine, because I have more gifts than just basketball, but some of mine is centered around basketball.
Yeah.
I can do some things with that ball.
Yeah. And if you think about it, a lot of the things that we desire and expect in this world is all construct, right? And so with that said, the NBA being the peak.
Yeah, upper echelon.
Yeah. But without that reality, right, your measurement of success would be that you did it in a lot of ways, man.
Yeah.
Be selected out of hundreds.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah, that's I never played in the NBA.
Yeah.
Couldn't even make an NBA D-League team. That doesn't define me. You know what I mean? Just to get the opportunity to even try was great enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Considering, where I come from, and I got such a late start, coming from the 252 and being here in Durham, raised in Durham all my life, definitely. It was great in itself. That's just in my mind.
But your confidence in your game, it just comes through. It's the whole thing. You got a lot of bravado around the skills that you have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and people can hear that.
Shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And some people will be like, what is he? Why he's so confident? Like, he never made it to the NBA. Why he's so confident? Why he talking like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I can back that shit up.
Exactly. So talk to those people, man.
Yeah, the gifts are there.
Yeah.
The mind is there. The heart is there. And that's the most important thing. And I'm still able.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm still able. I'm able-bodied. You know what I'm saying? At 46. And I know that's old, especially for any athlete. Right now they talk about LeBron and his age and stuff like that. I don't see no decline.
Yeah.
And I hate the way the NBA doing Carmelo. And like I said before, I don't have the resources they have. ISO Joe do hot yoga. I dream about doing hot yoga. I've been doing hot yoga for years. So I'm ready to go. You see what I'm saying? My body feels amazing, and I don't have that type of a treatment. I can only imagine how they feel getting that type of a treatment. I wish I could wake up every morning and see a chiropractor first thing in the morning, then do some yoga, eat some oatmeal, baked fish, and broccoli. You know what I'm saying? And the mind is there. The skills are there. Everything is still there. You see what I'm saying? At 46. So then I'm able, I still I get out and I still work because I love the sport and I love to play. So I train. You got to know how to train. You see what I'm saying? I know how to train, but the difference in working with a personal trainer or something like that, they can push you outside your comfort zone. And I do that as far as personal training. Also, push people outside their comfort zones. Teach them what they don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play for as long as I can. As long as I can. I'm not gonna put a time limit on it. I'm gonna stay close to the game, coaching, officiating, because I love the game. That's my forte, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do until the end of me.
All right. So as we wrap this up, I have 2 more questions for you, and that's one is people want to know again, like I said, what are you doing now? Where are you now? How are you still staying close to the game?
Okay. Still officiating in the high school level. Got some college opportunities out there as far as officiating goes right now. Still in the high school circuit as far as that's how I'm staying close to the game right now. And as far as myself is like, as far as playing right now, I'm just training and working with the younger youth. And again, getting a little closer to launching my basketball camps. Once I conclude everything, then I'll be ready to launch, getting things in its perspective, insurance, location, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna launch.
All right.
Staying close to the sport like that and just staying loose. I definitely believe in the balance.
Yeah.
So I definitely believe in the balance. There's a yin and a yang. I'm all of those things. Still put my head to books because I love information and you can take advantage of things when you have information. And then it's just an everyday action.
All right.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at currently. Still in the high school circuits primarily. I even do some Parks and Rec. Still the game. Parks and Rec as far as officiating.
Yeah.
Kids league. I enjoy that because it's basketball. And I treat their league, I bring a professionalism to their league. I treat those little kids with respect because they up next.
Yeah.
And I played in those rec leagues before I was old enough to compete at school level, starting middle school. So that's where you start at. So I give those little kids that same respect that I would high school kids when officiating or coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I stay close to it. Keep your eyes and ears peeled open for. I'm a self-title the thing. Stewart Holley basketball camps. Ain't really worked out all those details yet how I want to market it. But like I said, once I get everything concluded, then we're on to basketball camps.
All right.
The location is definitely gonna be in Edenton, North Carolina. It's gonna be in Edenton, and that's all I'm gonna speak on about that. It's gonna be in Edenton. And we're going to hit those surrounding areas around my hometown, Edenton, Williamston, Hereford, Elizabeth City, and Windsor, Windfall, Plymouth, those little areas right there. We're going to bring those resources right there to that area and get it popping.
All right. Is that important to you?
Because it's my home. Edenton is my home. And I'm not cocky or arrogant, but I'm that one. I want to reach out to that community up there and open those doors up that way. Basketball is being played, and like I said, I'm an Edenton. I'm the first professional basketball player from Eden. So once I go back home and offer camps there, yeah, I do believe parents will bring their kids out. You know what I mean? Because we're going to teach them intangibles that nobody up there can teach them. It's no disrespect to nobody up there, no other coaches, and that's not to discredit any of them, anybody up that way. But we all got a level of expertise. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
So I'm using what I learned through my playing experiences as an international player, working out in those NBA D-League combines, trying to make those roster teams. I'm using those experiences playing in the ABA and the TRBL to teach your kids saying how to approach this sport on a high level. You see what I'm saying? The body, the nutrition, the heart, and the mind. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing fluky over here.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing fluky over here.
All right. When we, as we wrap up, we're finishing up the season, as I mentioned. You're on another, in this last 2 episodes, you've just been dealing with some other legal issues in 2017, 2018.
Yep.
And I'm coming out of that. And once again, faced with that reflection of reinvention.
Yeah.
As anybody who's heard the story so far knows that even though this is something that's being said with intention now, reinvention, you've had to reinvent yourself a few times.
Yeah.
Inside of this life. And
oh yeah.
Where are you now in that process? Where, as a man, as a former basketball player, professional basketball player, but still in your own pursuit. Where are you now as far as your growth and that reinvention?
I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment, and there's just a lot of room for growth. So I'm in that moment, and I'm in a good space. You see what I'm saying? All I can say is Elohim showed me favoritism, and he's still continuing to do that, and still learning. And that's just the size of it. That spirit is alive, and it showed me favoritism. I make sure I work on my attitude, and I make sure I work on myself. I look myself in the mirror first. What could I do to better myself? That's it. So I'm in the moment.
No doubt, no doubt. So, last question I have for you. I knew I shouldn't have said I had 2 questions. I figured I was going to have 4, at least 4 more. But really, the last question is that as we wrap up this 20 plus hours of recordings that we did, except from 2018 to 2021, we have a new vision in mind with the podcast.
Right.
And so I want you to talk a little bit about that, where we're going in season 3, and what the people can look forward to hearing from the turnaround.
We're going to get into some guests, some of my siblings, and then we're going to get into the mindsets of other international players that's right here from the area, but have competed abroad. D1 players, Carolina, home state, and so on. And these are some great young men doing some great things in the community and society. When we collaborate, it's just going to be some epic shit. It's just going to be the size of it. And I can't wait to get started, because it's going to be fun in the process too. And then it's another growth process. And then we're just going to keep finding ways from there to progress. So yeah, just be looking forward to it, because I know I am. So yeah, that's how we're going to do that. And then we're going to keep going.
Yeah. I know one of the things, and I'm really looking forward to that as well, because as we've been talking about, man, just sometimes we think we have an idea about people's lives and people's experiences because of where we see them.
Yep.
And we have no idea.
Yep.
So it's going to be an opportunity for other people to share their stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And just weighing in on everyday things that take place in not just the community, but society. You know what I mean? Just to get these particular young men, without disclosing names at this moment, but just to get their viewpoints and their aspects on things, because these guys have healthy mindsets and healthy thinking. You know what I'm saying? And these guys have no idea how much I look up to them. Mm. And most of them, I think they're younger than me, but they have no idea how much I look up to them. You see what I'm saying? Because I see what they doing, and I'm like, he got it hopping and popping. Like, these dudes are doing some great things, you know what I'm saying, in their respectful communities and in the society, contributing positively. And I work on, surrounding myself with those type of people. And then we just so happen we share the same passion. And we got that same type of a drive. We got that it shit when it comes to sport. We got that it. Some people got it, some people ain't. You know what I'm saying? We a collection of some of those guys who do.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that myself. And I know another goal of ours from the start is to be able to tackle this prison industrial system and the juvenile system and the reform on that, and how it's a trap and how things can happen. There's a lot of societal ills that plague odd people, and wanting to give back in a lot of ways.
Real quick about that prison system and the judicial system. Yeah, it is a trap. It's biased, it's evil, and it's not catered, for people who look like us. And they castrate us every chance they get. It's unfair. It's hypocritical. And that's just to be polite about it. They talk that rehabilitation shit, but how you going to rehabilitate someone who's never been habilitated in the first place? You know what I'm saying? And they talk reform. How you gonna reform somebody that's never been formed? I know what they doing. I understand that. I know what they doing. That's why we got to be. We all, including myself, especially. We just got to be smart.
Yeah, we got to be smart, and we got to continue to speak.
Yeah, cause we skating on eggshells.
Yeah. We got to continue to speak and share our voices, and so I just want to say to you that, again, I'm grateful to have the experience and opportunity to share your story with the world. Turnaround Podcast is on all streaming platforms. You can also follow us on the Turnaround Podcast on Instagram. And can't wait to share more. Can't wait for y'all to hear more. So we got a lot more in store.
Yo, I appreciate you, and I appreciate Mac, Toon Studios. You guys are, again, a collection of the best. And to collaborate with you guys is amazing. Putting this thing together, you guys are amazing in your right, in your own right. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And to everybody else out there, keep pushing forward. And great to be in the studio with you again, bruh. You know, man, epic shit.
Word up, man. All right, thanks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time.
All right, everybody, be cool.